Hey everybody, ModelMan here, and on the bench for January 15th, 2016. There's actually a little Jupiter going on, but there's a whole bunch of surgery actually. Everything has been washed and prepped, but assembly mount, putty surfacing, lights and fiber, primer paint, decals, clear coat display, green screen, all of that is in a check mark right here. Because what's going on? Let's go check it out. What kind of surgery? Well, there's a bit of a story. Several months ago, my wife initiated a redecoration of our living room. Hanging on the walls were these plaques with the Space Odyssey models. So, months ago, they were all taken apart and put into storage. Popping open the lid a few minutes ago, I knew this guy had been hurt and damaged. So this is resin. I'm going to have to reheat that into a flat plane and re-angle those guys at the very least. The front looks in good shape. The little EVA pod for the antenna module. Laying upside down, yeah, he's got a broken hand. So that'll be a fix. The antenna itself has a few parts that I need to add to finish it. It also looks like it's going a bit yellow. If I can repaint this real quick into a better white, I definitely will. Right here is a little, barely even see it, this metal band here goes onto the French satellite, which is probably missing another one or two of those. And as you can see, it's pretty filthy with dust, as is this guy. So, additionally, this is going to be going over all this with a toothbrush and cleaning all the dust out as best I can. Anyhow, back to these plaques here. New ones are being used, which means I need to re-drill the holes and remount everything. That won't be too tough for the antenna module. Getting this angle correct, getting these guys centered should be a little easier now on a different piece. However, the satellites have a particular problem. They used to be sitting on a pair of essentially wall hooks for like a bike. So it was basically just a scoop coming out and the models were held into that. My wife wasn't happy about the way that looked, so what I'm going to be doing is drilling mounting points into each of these guys. And for example, the Chinese satellite has that nice little round loading dock right there. And I'll basically be drilling that out, inserting a brass tube, and then some way to stabilize it so that it remains perpendicular or parallel to the board. So just opening up this box has definitely shown a few tough things that are going to be facing me. That's a lot of the surgery. Now with these plaques, there's one for the antenna module, which is this guy and that guy and this guy, all in one piece, two pieces actually. The satellites, there's four of those, the Chinese, the French, the American, which apparently 6 to 7 years ago I left taped up and ready for the next round of painting, which means I'm going to have to detape it, make sure there's no gunk on it left behind from the tape, and then retape it again with for the second main color. German satellite, I had barely started. I had washed all the parts. I could have packed these guys a little better all those years ago, and I'll be opening this for the first time in 6 years. Now, 3 of the 4 satellites are by AJA Models, which also made the U.S. Air Force, which is this guy. This guy, however, is the first satellite ever made by Mad Dog Resin and was discontinued not too much later. So this one is not to scale with this guy, though this guy is to scale with all the other satellites. So the decision is to do both of them, and I don't know that I can fit all 5 onto the same plaque. Now, I had mentioned there were 2 plaques for those. There is a 3rd plaque ready to hang, and I've always envisioned doing that with these 2. The TTOV itself is 5 pieces and a decals. That's it. Very simple kit to go together. The Orion is a bit more complicated. However, it still goes together really nice. Hopefully some quick painting, and the pair of these can display inset to each other. They're nearly 1.5 feet long each. They're going to be really nice build. And they should go fairly fast. So, it's the Space Odyssey surgery series, along with some construction. And in addition to that, getting to the paint booth itself, version 3.3. I've installed the second set of lights. This is warm for night, natural for day. I've created a 6-inch riser, so now I can stand at this much more comfortably and get everything working well. The 1x4 piece right there is a temporary stand-in until I can get a proper 1x6 to put across the front. I will most likely be drilling a drawer into here that will have a flip lid, so I can get access to anything under there. I specifically want to store my sandpaper, which is currently down there, up in here. However, at this point, the well is definitely deep enough to hold a bottle of water and some other stuff standing up, which is nice. There's plenty of room. And you can look for more videos on the construction progress of this coming up in January, as Paint Booth version 3.3 comes to life. Then as the paint booth comes to life, I've got enough dark aluminum to start painting on the lower hull, which is actually sitting up there, which was also part of the cleanup and changeover. I haven't even plugged the vent fan back in yet fully. So things are upgraded, things are definitely moving, and there should be some good stuff coming up this month in January. So having 8 models moving all at once has been really fantastic. There's a lot of video for this that I got to get through. There's work on red too. Getting this white is definitely an important thing, and at least getting the yellow on the back here, so maybe I'll concentrate on those 2 things today. Let's see how it goes. I just found this for $103 shipped, so I picked it up, but it means I gotta sell one of my prized possessions, an actual metal grill Star Trek communicator. Also over on eBay, I'm selling a bunch of Cinefex. This is a quarterly magazine that tells the story of all the visual effects and work that goes into making a movie. Hey everybody, ModelMan here with the payoff for the 10th pseudo-annual charity auction. So, American Cancer Society with $10.45, $22.50, and $9.95. Harp Seals with $7.08. Make-A-Wish with $99.95 for the Wicked Witch test shot, and another $150.99 for the Polar Lights King Kong pre-paint test shot. The Sharon S. Richardson Community Hospice with $4.25, and the World Food Program USA for $7. For a total of $312.17. So we'll checkbox that. Pay donation due. Donate with your pre-existing PayPal account, yes. Continue for $312.17. I'd like my donation to be delivered to the benefiting nonprofits as soon as possible by waiving my right to a refund. Optional? No, not for me. Let's get it to them now. Submit. Thank you. Your donation is being processed. And that brings this year to date up to $536.89 with a grand total ending 2015 of $3,261.75. Wow. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated since 2011 with the very first pseudo-annual charity auction, which raised $371.39 in that one auction alone. And for grand totals, A Light of Sunshine is no longer registered with eBay as a charitable auction, so they're stuck at $31.50, unfortunately. American Cancer Society was at only $10 before this auction. It's up to $64.24, and I want to bring that up to a full $100. American Red Cross sitting at $123.50. Blind Cat Rescue and Sanctuary, $702.15. They weren't in this year's auctions, but they're doing good. Children of Fallen Soldiers Relief Fund, $138.51. Doctors Without Borders USA, they lost out on this 10th pseudo-annual charity auction. I had hoped to get them $23 to bring them up to a full $100, but we'll save that for the next one. HarpSeals.org sitting at $102.85. Los Angeles Regional Food Bank at $300.83. Make-A-Wish America at $1308.52. Nice, very nice. The Sharon S. Richardson Community Hospice, 10314. The Humane Society of the United States, 10362. United Cerebral Palsy, 10123. And the World Food Program, USA, 10409. So now that I've gotten a lot of these totals up to an even $100, and some of these others, I'll start bringing them up to the 300 mark to catch up with the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. That will start catching up to that blind cat sanctuary, and they'll start catching up to the Make-A-Wish over time, as Make-A-Wish itself heads for the $1,500 mark. And over on this project here, the Vibro Axe stands yet closer to completion. Go check this out on Gears McTinkersome, as well as all the Red 2 work. And so with the Jupiter 2 in the final phases of construction, I've decided to open up the archives of models that I put on hold for this very model all those years ago. And so there's been a flurry of work, and it's been really good to be doing this again. So thanks for watching. Keep watching. Lots of videos coming up. See ya. And here are a few YouTube channels that might interest you. As always, the Scale Model Addict. Scott Gervan brings you his own work, and the Scale Model Addict Forum and Scale Model Addict Magazine. Dr. Faust's The Painting Clinic. Check out Tony for miniatures and model painting. What time is it? It's Cranky time. With his lab rat Ori assistant Igor, Dr. Cranky brings you the best in rats, rods, and rust. Steve Neal's Garage with Rosie the Wonder Dog, Mary, and Xena, featuring feature film props, restorations, and scale model artistry. Scott Alexander of Atomic City Models, specializing in 2001: A Space Odyssey model recreations and a few other notable genre pieces as well. Braddock 001, whether a 1-to-1 scale Borg sleep station, droids of any make or model, or even popular superhero armor or any kind of sculpture, look to Brad Carpenter to bring it. And for the trials, tribulations, and tales of my car Red 2 and its droid lemons, check in on Gears McTinkersome. Bad Grendels for fine model work, timer chips, and electronics knowledge. The ModelManTom channel would like to thank the following for their sponsorship. Elliot Brown of Kingston Vacuum Works, featuring Fedoratron.com and WarmPlastic.com. Lighting for extraordinary modelers, and vacuum forming tables for designers, modelers, and engineers. Kingston Vacuum Works covers it all. Paul at thefiberopticstore.com, now presenting the beta version of its new site, thefiberopticprojects.com, for an exceptional selection and great prices of fiber optics of all sizes and quantities. Thefiberopticstore.com. Carpenter Creations. If you can dream it, you can make it. Brad and Carpenter, science fiction artistes. From full-scale Borg cubicles or droid displays of all kinds. Carpenter Creations. Steve Neal's Garage. Props and models for motion picture and discerning collectors, as well as prosthetic makeup and CG. Contact Steve through stevenealsgarage.com. Model reviews from Round 2 Models, AMT, MPC, Polar Lights, and Lindbergh. Scale Model Addict Magazine. Issue 3 now available. Issue number 4 is in the works. The Orbital Defense Engineering Commission, a 2001: A Space Odyssey specific forum for scale model kits, reviews, news, and discussion. Odec.proboards.com. More than just talk, hobbytalk.com, a forum for every hobby. And for the finest reference collection of feature film studio props and miniatures and models, it's Modelers, Miniatures, and Magic at modelermagic.com.